How do we not lose hope? How do we develop and sustain strong tawakkul? Well, remember that Imam al-Ghazali, in his genius, put tawakkul, which is trusting God, with tawheed in the Ihya. So it's kitab tawheed wa tawakkul. So it's really important to have a strong tawheed, an understanding that everything's from God, and also to understand that this is darul ibtila. In fact, one of the things that Imam al-Junayd says is that he took a qaida in life, and once he took this axiom, this principle in his life, he said nothing ever bothered him after that. And it was that he said, dunya is sharrun kulluha, وهو دار ابتلاء وفتنة وهم وغم. And it is an abode of tribulation, of trials, of depression, and of anxiety. Like that is the wasf al-dar. That's the description of the abode. And so he says, once you accept that, he said, after that, nothing bothered me that came from the jinn, because I said, oh, it's just dunya. That's how it is. So there's a stoic element to that, and then he said, whatever comes that doesn't have those qualities is fadl. So just be grateful, right? That what you come, be patient with any tribulation, but be grateful. So it's important. Everybody has tribulation. The wealthiest people have tribulation. The poorest people have tribulation. Sometimes the wealthy people have, I've known some really wealthy people that there's no way I'd trade places with them, knowing what I know about the tribulations that they have. So this idea that people don't suffer, because of their color of their skin or because of the wealth that they have. That's just not knowing the human condition. Every human being has his trials and tribulations. And so it's just important that we're all here together. Ta'awuna 'alal birri wat taqwa. Watch out for the demons, because they're around, and the human demons are worse than the ones from the spirit world. They're worse. So, you have to develop an understanding of your Lord and an understanding of the abode. Reading the Quran with meaning. And one of the things Imam al-Ghazali says, and I actually really appreciate this in the Jawahir, he says that Muslims should think about the Quran. You have to be careful when you have limitations of knowledge, but you should reflect, do tadabbur of the Quran. You can do it in English. These meanings, you can reflect on these meanings. But the Quran has an embedded metaphysic that is not spelt out like a book. It can only be determined by a real engagement. And Imam al-Ghazali says, this is a lifetime of work. He says it's going to take a lifetime for you to do this work. And Allah's given you just about enough time. And inshallah, if for those who die before that time, He's merciful and He's just. So He's going to take into consideration, I'm sure, people's, the amount of time they had. But if you've had a lot of time, Imam al-Ghazali says, if you've reached 40 and your good doesn't outweigh your bad, get ready for hell. Because 40 is a lot of time to work things out. Would you say that we can treat the pronunciation of different riwayat as providing different aspects of meaning? Well, they do provide different aspects of meaning. And also, one of the things about tajweed is that a lot of the rules of tajweed actually have meanings embedded in them. So, if you look غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. That med lazim there should have 6 harakat. So in that med, it's indicating something about going astray. Like you just keep going down. So tajweed, a lot of the rules of tajweed enhance. If you look, الحج أشهر معلومات فمن فرض فيهن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى وَاتَّقُونِ يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. So there, يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. It's like calling all these people, يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. ليس عليكم جناح أن تبتغوا فضلا من ربكم فإذا أفضتم من عرفات فاذكروا الله عند مشعر الحرام واذكروه كما هداكم وإن كنتم من قبله لمن الضالين. I mean, there you go. So the rules of tajweed, they enhance the meaning. Like shay usually has a med. It can go 2, 4, 6 in warsh, وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. I mean, shay is thing, and think of all the things in the world. So in that med, there's an indication of something of the nature of things, that they just go on. So, and then you have the Arabs, because the Prophet ﷺ was sent first to all the Arabs, and then to the Ajam. But first to the Arabs. He was first sent to his own people. One way of honoring them was to put all of the lahajats into the Quran. So you'll find all the Arab dialects they'll find their dialect in the Quran, which is a way of saying, marhaban, we include you. So it wasn't this Qurayshi hegemony where you just impose your language on the rest of the Arabs. In fact, Hafs, which is the most recited Quran today, is Bani Tamim. It's the excuse me, it's the Arabs from the Najd. They're Mudar Arabs, but the people in Qatar are from Bani Tamim, like the ruling family of Qatar. They're from Bani Tamim. So that's their language, to say yu'min. The Prophet said yu'min. He didn't pronounce the Hamza. So Nafi' on Warsh, Qalun has the Hamza, but Warsh has no Hamza. And that's why Malik considered Nafi' to be a sunnah, and particularly the riwayah of Warsh, which is why the Malikis all read it as a sunnah. So Malik actually saw Warsh was sunnah. And that's why all the Libyans recite Qalun, because they were next to Egypt, and Egypt, Hafs became the dominant qira'ah. Qalun's very close to Hafs. But the rest of the Malikis all over North and West Africa recite with Warsh. The Malikis in Sudan recite with Abu Amr. Like that beautiful reciter, Shaykh Nurain, who died right when he was becoming famous. It's like Allah said, time to take you. And he had already done the whole Quran. A beautiful reciter. So they definitely give, and then also with the recensions, you have things like, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أُذِنَ لِلَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَ بِأَنَّهُمْ ظُلِمُوا. That's one qira'ah. أُذِنَ لِلَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَ. So one has the passive, the other has, the active form of the verb. So they were given permission, those who were being fought, but also because they were being fought. But then it also says they were given permission to fight. So it has both. And that's why, because when they got into the fight in the Ashhur al-Huram, I mean, the Quran revealed that it was permitted for them to do that because they were being oppressed. وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَكْبَرُ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. So there, akbar wa ashad. So one says akbar, the other says ashad. So you have all these nuances. You have, for instance, in Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad, you have إِن جَاءَكُمْ فَاسِقٌ بِنَبَإٍ فَتَبَيَّنُوا. In that's one qira'ah. تَثَبَّتُوا is another qira'ah. If you look at how it's written without the diacritical marks, it's written the same way in the Rasm al-Uthmani, but the diacritical marks which were added later during the time of al-Hajjaj. The meaning of tabayyanu is make sure you understand the meaning. But tathabbatu is make sure that the source is sound. So in that one verse are both those meanings. And there are many examples. Ma huwa ala ghaybi bidhanin. He's not like withholding. Ma huwa ala ghaybi bidhanin. He's not making it up. It's not just his opinions about the unseen. So the qira'ats are really, even the shadda qira'at are very interesting. The ahad qira'at, قَدْ جَعْلَ رَبُّشِ تَحْتَشِ سَرِيًّا. I mean, the reason it's a shadh qira'ah, but the reason it's interesting is because the dialect that you find in the Gulf Arabs, kif halish, you know, they use the kaf, they pronounce it like a sheen or a chet sound. That's a very ancient Arabic dialect. So the qira'at have preserved also. And then things like Rom and Ishmam. I mean, if you look at the Ishmam, one, it's a proof that you have to take the Quran from a qari, because there's no way you can learn Ishmam without doing it shafawiyan. You can't read how to do it. It's just something you have to, you have to learn how to get that from a qari. It doesn't change the, I mean, that's just a really interesting aspect of the Quran. So tajweed to me is one of the real proofs of the preservation of the Quran. Just the fact that all of the sects of Islam agree on all 10 qira'at. I mean, what religion has that? Like, they don't debate it. And the Shia use the Shatibiyya and the Durra, which are both from Sunni scholars. They don't have any problem. They use the Alfiyah of Ibn Malik. He's a Sunni scholar. So there's no, even like Ahmadiyya have the same, they have the same Quran as the rest of the Muslims. So every group, whether the Ismaili or the Bora, Dawoodis, every group, they have the same Qurans. Nobody differs about the Quran. The Christians differ. The Protestants only accept the Hebrew Bible. They don't accept some of the apocryphal texts. It has to be in the Hebrew Bible, whereas the Catholics accept texts that are in the